Welcome to the rest of my life. I don't know when all this stuff started about pronouncing Kiev as Kiev. It's like when I was a little kid, they changed Peking to Beijing. Confused everybody. I'm trying to get the damn mirrors fixed back the way I want them. Oh dear. Alright. Well, this weekend I posted the 10th issue of my online magazine. And what a confused, schizophrenic, chaotic, jumbled mess it is. Oh Christ, the last 10, 11, 12 pages got posted in the reverse order. And I just didn't have the patience to go back and redo everything. So I'm gonna leave it. After reviewing it, I just thought, it's sort of appropriate for just what a mess it is. Issue 10 was intended to be the first step in a new direction. And I guess it's appropriate that it's, the way it is, because your first step in a new direction sometimes is bold, but also shaky. Alright, let me fix the right-hand mirror just a little bit. I didn't really come up with a topic, or any topics for today, but let's see what we can come up with. I went to the last day of the Athens-Clarke County Library book sale because it was $10 a bag day. And my wife and I went. There was no information on the library website of when the book sale started, what time of day. So we went with the time the library opened, which was 9 in the morning. And as this has happened to us before, we get there. Is the sale started? No, it doesn't open. It doesn't start for another hour. You know what? You guys are a bunch of incompetent morons. So I said, just forget it. So I went home and took a little nap, woke up around 1:45 and thought, I want to go anyway. So my wife didn't want to go. I took my son. It really wasn't, he didn't find anything he wanted. I found a couple of things. No, I was shocked. I got a Henry Rollins Band album that I've been wanting to get for a long time. I believe it was the second one after he changed the lineup. And I got something else I'd wanted for a long time. What the hell was it? I got it right here beside me. Got a Dean Martin collection and something else here. Can't see a damn thing. Oh, I got a Black Crowes album that I've been wanting to get for a long time. After Amorica came out, I just stopped keeping up with them. Three Snakes and One Charm came out before I was ready, and I didn't get it. And then before I knew it, By Your Side came out, and that's the one I got at the sale. And then Lions came out, and it was just one thing after another. Then the band broke up, and from what I heard, that, what is it, Winter Snowfall thing came out. They had gone country, and I don't know. But we'll see. I thought Amorica was great. I was living on my own for about a year before I got married. And Amorica came out, and the review in Rolling Stone just was, full of praise for it. And for some reason, I read that review over and over. And one of the lines from it stuck with me to this day. Unquenchable restlessness. I thought that was great. Oh, me. Oh, there's an ambulance coming this way. That's odd. Can you hear it? Heading towards Oglethorpe County. That's very odd. Because the city normally doesn't head out towards the provinces. A little cold in here now. Well, I finished what Mighty Boosh episodes were available. And I gotta say, a lot of the episodes are formulaic. Very samey. And it's really, I don't know. It's okay. You know, it's a lot of it does remind me of the young ones. The saving grace is that there's no goddamn laugh track and no studio audience. It's just, I don't know what that was all about. That whole mindset persisted a long time after it was unnecessary. It's funny how many conventions of old-time radio were dragged over into television and then persisted in television long after they were needed. When I was a kid, even as a kid, I knew that laugh tracks were bullshit. And I remember Happy Days always started with a voiceover from Tom Bosley saying, "Happy Days is filmed before a live studio audience." And even as a kid, I thought, okay, so what? You're adding fake canned laughter anyway, so who cares? You know, the first season of that show, there was no audience, and they had like stuff. It was cut together like a little film. They had stuff that was filmed outside. Kind of like MASH, really, I guess. Yeah, MASH often had like them driving around in a Jeep out in the Hollywood Hills somewhere. When the MASH box set came out, I was happily surprised to find that they gave you the option to do without the laugh track on all the episodes. That was very interesting. This church that my dad goes to has a poster up about Easter, and it says Easter at the top of the poster, and then below it in big letters, "Death to life." And I think what they're trying to say is from death into life. That's what Easter's supposed to be about, you know. But you can read it as death to life. We hate life. Which is really what their religion is about, really. Because life is impermanent and imperfect, they don't want to have anything to do with it. They've created a fantasy realm beyond life where it's better because it lasts forever, which of course is a recipe for insanity. The very thing that makes us human is our mortality and our knowledge of that mortality. To live in heaven or in hell, by their conception, eternal existence, eternal awareness, is a non-human state. I remember being on the bus as a kid, probably 7th grade, something like that. And there was this brother and sister that were good. Well, I guess the brother was 2 years older than I was, and the sister was maybe 4. And they asked me, we got to talking about something one day, and they said, before you were born, you were dead. And I was like, no, you just didn't exist. And they said, yes, don't you see? You were dead. I don't know what subsect of their religion taught them that. And just such a bizarre concept. It's interesting, this weekend I found out that Jenny Thomas was into this, what do they call it? Large group awareness training organization called LifeSpring. And it's interesting how it's usually people with money and connections that get involved in these things, more than, your down and outers. Because these sorts of organizations, they want your money, and they want access to the connections that you have after you've become fully brainwashed into their group. I don't know how anybody could. I mean, I sort of can see it, because when I was 19, 20, I was vulnerable. I just don't understand it. Scientology? Est? Is it pronounced est or EST? All that shit. When I was, I graduated from high school when I was 17, and turned 18, I guess 6 months later. Anyway, so I was 17 when I started college, and I was totally disconnected from everything. My 2 best friends had gone off to boot camp, and I was dating this girl, and we broke up not long after I started college. So I really had nobody. I had my cousin. I used to hang around with him every day. I'd go to school, UGA, in the morning, and come home and mess around until he got out of high school, off the bus every day. And his parents weren't home, so we'd go run around town, shoplifting and vandalizing and raising hell. And so eventually I got busted for shoplifting, and it was a big stink, and more to get my parents off my back than anything else. I started going to church again. I had stopped going when I was about 15, I guess. Anyway, but I didn't want to go to their church. So I started going to this church that one of my friends in boot camp had gone to, and it was a charismatic church where they believed in speaking in tongues and all this shit. And I got caught up in it. I used to try to make myself speak in tongues because the preacher, I told him I'm having trouble, He had told me that speaking in tongues was the way to directly communicate with God. That was the magic tool. I'm having a little trouble getting into it. He goes, well, just make it up. Just babble incoherently until it comes to you. So I used to do that in the car. Just making shit up for like 30 minutes at a time. And it was totally ridiculous. And, I just got so caught up in the whole thing. I stopped going to that church because I found a new girlfriend, and she was, of course, more exciting and interesting than anything the church had to offer. And also, I had my first pituitary gland tumor surgery. And they believed in magic healing and all this stuff, and they told me, we've received messages from God, and you're not going to go through the surgery, you'll be healed magically and all this stuff. Well, that of course didn't happen, and I had the surgery, and it was horrible, and so I stopped going. And I got a phone call from one of the guys I'd met through the church that had become a friend of mine, and he's like, what's up, man? Why you haven't been to church in several Sundays? What's going on? What happened to you? I said, well, the whole surgery thing kind of changed things for me. I was told I was going to be healed, and I wasn't. I had to go through it. And he goes, but you were healed. What do you mean I was healed? The surgery, that was the healing. Okay. I can't remember. Yeah, I had started drinking at that point too. It wasn't... Was it before? Yeah, it must have been right before the surgery. I had started working no, wait a minute now. Oh, I have to write it down as a chronology and look at it, but it was June or July of '88. I started working night shift as a temp at the post office. I had a 6-month term and started having really bad headaches all the time, and finally got a MRI, CAT scan, something, and that's how they found the tumor. I had like a breakdown during that time, because I suddenly remember I wrote on a piece of paper like all the different pressures I had on me. Having to go to school, having to go to church, having to go to extra activities at church, having to work at night. I remember now all of a sudden just having this sobbing breakdown and writing it all out, like to give to the preacher, to explain to him why I couldn't handle all this stuff, because the guy who was the preacher at this church, he and his family, had become, really close. I was friends with his kids. He had little kids. And I remember his wife told me one day, the Lord has given me a prophecy that my husband will one day become the number one songwriter in America. Oh, God. So I understand being vulnerable to induction into a cult-like situation. But being in your 30s and 40s with money and political connections, moving in high circles, and deciding, I need something more. I need to go to this brainwashing session where they don't let you go to the bathroom all day and they scream at you and make you walk around naked and laugh at your flabby ass. I don't understand it. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you later. Bye-bye.